film begins in the car with Courtney and her sister Tessa. She is distracted by her phone and crashes the vehicle. Courtney, a medical student, approaches a patient at the hospital and informs her that she has had a seizure and her heart stopped for several minutes before being saved. Meanwhile, other medical students, Ray and Marlo, argue what to do with an injured patient, nearly killing him. In a library, Courtney notices Sophia crying and asks what's wrong. When Sophia tells Courtney about her difficulties remembering her notes, Courtney invites her for a walk. Sophia asks Courtney why she stopped being friends with her when they were freshmen. Courtney feels terrible and promises to do her best to hang out with her from now on. The next day, the interns are in class with Dr. Oz, who complains about them not putting in enough effort. He asks Marlo a question and lashes out when she cannot find an answer. Ray responds instead. Courtney asks Jamie to meet her in the basement later that night. He is surprised to see she is interested, but accepts her invitation. Sophia and Courtney meet later that night in the basement. Courtney shows her an underground, fully functional hospital built in case of a natural disaster or power outage. They walk into a large room, followed by Jamie, who is disappointed to see Sophia because he thinks he and Courtney will get it on. If you've ever felt like Jamie, obviously disappointed, subscribe to the channel. They both ask her what is going on, so she begins to reveal the machines in the room and shows them the brain scans of patients who died in the hospital shortly before their deaths. She discusses her idea of documenting whatever happens after we die. They do not take her seriously, and they laugh even harder when she asks them to stop her heart while she is in the imaging scanner. She has signed a release in her bag, which releases them of any responsibility. She mentions her youth, good health, and the two's emergency revival skills. Jamie does not hesitate, claiming that if Courtney wants this, he has no right to stop her. Sophia, on the other hand, refuses to assist her in committing suicide. The two forced her to either help or walk away. They carry out the plan, and she injects herself. After she falls unconscious, Jamie stops her heart, and the two of them begin counting 60 seconds before attempting to revive her. They have difficulty accomplishing this and are forced to text Ray for assistance. It's not the best situation you want to be in. Ray runs out of the hospital, catching Marlo's attention. Ray asks them what is happening, and they explain that they conducted an experiment that went wrong and cannot get Courtney back. Ray instructs Jamie to perform the chest compressions instead of Sophia. After shooting her with an EpiPen, they insert a tube into her mouth and use the paddles one final time. Before they wake her up, Courtney has a dream about a bridge. Marlo then enters the room and asks what is going on. Courtney tells the others about her experience, claiming that she could see herself leaving her body. There were no white lights, but pure energy. Courtney's scans reveal that there was still activity inside her brain seconds after she was presumed dead. The others are interested, but Ray leaves. The next day, Courtney is praised by Dr. Oz for her vast knowledge, which makes the others jealous. After witnessing her perform on the piano in the evening, they conclude that her brain has been rewired. Jamie tells them that it is his turn tonight to undergo the experiment. Courtney feels watched at home and notices something moving behind her in the shower curtains. She is scared when she looks again and discovers that the curtains are broken and someone is underneath. She quickly discovers that all of this is a hallucination. During Jamie's experiment, he sees himself riding a motorcycle in a bright city while a girl hugs him from behind. Ray arrives to assist in his extraction. Jamie enters a dark place in his state, and the girl with him vanishes before he regains consciousness. The friends celebrate their success and refer to the experiment as flatlining, because that is what the monitor shows when their heart stops. Jamie and Courtney's energy levels are different from the others. Marlo wants to be the next one to be flatlined. Courtney asks Jamie if he had any disturbing moments when he was flatlined, but he doesn't think much of it. The next day, Jamie intuitively saves a woman's life. Sophia attempts to leave the house, but her mother forbids her, claiming she must study. The group prepares to flatline Marlo. Ray promises to get her back. Marlo sees herself in various life events after they take her out. She finds herself drowning, and after seeing a patient in the emergency room who had been stung by a jellyfish, She sees herself surrounded by them. She also sees the term murderer. I'm pretty sure that's not something you want to see in your dreams. Her friends decide to revive her, but she does not stabilize. Ray panics, and everyone believes they have lost her. Marlo's consciousness travels to a morgue, where she sees a dead body lying. They restarted her heart 3 minutes after it had stopped and managed to save her life. Man, talk about close calls. They were relaxing on the rooftop for some fresh air when Sophia appeared. She demanded that they flatline her immediately, but they tell her that the cleaning crew will arrive soon. Sophia is upset that the others are expanding their consciousness and gaining academic privileges. Marlo tells the others they should let Sophia do what she wants. To be honest, I'm pretty sure they shouldn't. They return to the laboratory and wire Sophia. After flatlining her, they hear footsteps from a distance. Jamie leaves them as they try to save Sophia. She, on the other hand, has flashbacks of her mother screaming at her and envying a girl in her class who was smarter than her. She goes through the girl's laptop while she was looking away and steals dirty pictures of herself, which she then shows everyone. The building's alarm goes off just as they return Sophia and assist her into her car. They almost run over Jamie, who tells them he did not abandon them and actually saved them. Marlo serves as the getaway driver from the security guards following them. They decide to celebrate. Courtney spots a little girl walking through the crowd and decides to follow her, but she vanishes. She then experiences a flashback. She approaches a broken-down car and looks through it to see Tessa inside, which shocks her back to reality. Sophia has been having a good time dancing all night when she grabs Jamie's hand and claims to be craving something. The two of them have loud sex at her house while her mother knocks on the door. Take that, Mom and Dad. After Jamie leaves, Sophia tells her mother she's moving out and trying to make it alone. Meanwhile, Ray drops Marlo off at her house, but she insists he comes inside because she has something important to tell him. She then tells him that 2 months ago, during her ER rotation, she killed someone who was admitted for a jellyfish sting. Ray recalls the man dying of shock, but she sadly informs him that it was due to a medication she ordered without bothering to ask if he was taking any other medications. She tells him she saw the man while she was flatlining. Ray comforts her, telling her that the mistakes are unavoidable and that she is not as bad as she believes. They start kissing and have an intimate time. Man, looks like everyone is having a good time tonight. Courtney is standing at the bridge, recalling the accident that killed her younger sister, Tessa. Although Courtney escaped the car that fell into the water, her sister didn't make it. Marlo asks Ray if it will be awkward from now on because he knows she is responsible for a patient's death. Still, he also mentions a kind act she did for a patient when they were freshmen that he admired. Jamie, on the other hand, has been hallucinating a woman at his home. He hears baby noises under his couches, which vanish when he removes the blanket between him and the baby. He is unaware that a menacing female figure is behind him. Still, it vanishes when Courtney phones to inform him that she has seen her deceased sister. When she arrives at her apartment, Courtney discovers her window is open and shuts it. She confesses to a crime and says she has never been interested in scientific advancements. She did it all because she missed her sister. Before finishing, she notices candles in the next room and walks in. She witnesses Tessa setting fire to a sketch of the two of them. Courtney is then thrown to her death by Tessa after she chases her out the window. Honestly, I'm disappointed that Courtney was the first to leave us. If you agree, subscribe to the channel. Marlo experiences hallucinations of drowning when she swims. The interns learn of Courtney's passing from Dr. Oz the following day. He asks them if they know anything about the possible cause of her death. They all denied knowing anything and were worried if Dr. Oz ever found out that they were going behind his back. Jamie informs Ray that he is correct about flatlining and can leave before getting involved. Ray, however, claims that whatever happens to them concerns him too, since he is the one who brought them all back. Jamie later calls Marlo to inform her that Courtney's belongings are in the morgue with her body, and she can go down there to retrieve them. She grabs her phone and decides to see if she is dead. When she returns Courtney's body to the freezer, she notices the word murderer written in blood. She gets a call from Courtney's number. She picks up and hears Courtney's voice calling out for her. The light suddenly turns off, and the man whose death she was responsible for appears. When the light comes back on, he disappears. Jamie notices a woman's figure passing by while he is showering. He notices the radio is on and gets out of the shower. Regardless of what he does, the situation remains constant. He hears a woman's crying voice and tries to run. Still, she follows him around his boathouse, eventually pushing him into the water. She stabs him in the hand as he tries to climb up. The scene shifts to Courtney's friends watching the video on her phone before she dies. The video doesn't end. Even as she's screaming her sister's name and running away in fear, they decide to confess the sins that have been haunting them. Alright guys, it's time to come clean and clean your souls. Jamie brings up Alicia, a waitress at his father's country club. He got the girl pregnant, but no matter how much he wanted to help pay for the abortion or support her during it, he drove right past her and left her to fend for herself. Sophia also tells them about a high school girl whose life she destroyed because she was envious of her higher GPA. Marlo tells the others they must find a solution to this problem before whatever killed Courtney reaches them. Sophia becomes nervous when she sees naked images of herself on the screen during a lecture. She enters the elevator at the corridor because she believes she is being watched. She keeps seeing visions of the girl she betrayed. Marlo runs into Ray, who tells her that he knows she changed an autopsy report to protect herself, making her unfit to practice medicine. Sophia is relieved after finding the girl she wronged and apologizing to her, even more so when the girl confesses that she forgives her. Man, that must be a fantastic feeling. Jamie calls Marlo and suggests finding the people they have wronged and accepting responsibility could be the solution. Jamie approaches Alicia, who now has a child. Jamie promises to look after them and assist them whenever possible. Marlo has a nightmare and rushes to the hospital, almost crashing along the way. Ray and Sophia rush into the room where she is flatlined. She had already been dead for 4 minutes when they arrived. In her vision, she asks the man she killed if he will ever forgive her, but instead he pursues her. He ties her to a bed and transports her to a dark room. Ray tells the others to give up trying to save her because it is too late. As a last resort, he injects her with an EpiPen. Courtney reappears in Marlo's vision, telling her she must forgive herself. Marlo nearly surrenders to darkness before following Courtney's advice. She makes it out alive, and everyone is relieved. Marlo admitted to the dean about her actions and is now on probation. She and Ray throw the laptop with the brain scans into the water. At the bar, the friends hear a man play Courtney's song on the piano and raise a toast. Man, I miss Courtney. And with this, the movie ends. If you've enjoyed this recap, like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next episode.